All right, coming around, sitting down. Let's talk about games. Specifically, predictable plots in games. So the reason why we're talking about this today for our video game quickie is because I recently finished God of War. And there is a plot point in God of War that if any of you are, which I assume you are, well-versed in games, there are certain characters as they develop that you kind of can pinpoint pretty quickly aren't going to be what they seem. The game does a fantastic job of making very dynamic characters who change and evolve and grow over time, but that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about right now is the problem of predictable plot changes. Specifically, things frequently in games we're kind of taught to expect certain transitions of character, and I'm very cautious here because I don't want to spoil anything in God of War or who could change or who could do what or where things could go. But in games as a whole, we see a lot of characters who betray or switch kind of their alliance, and they change what they're doing and the very core set of who they are. There are other games like Doom where characters undergo transformations and they have their own agendas. There are just a number of games where just different characters are changing constantly. The problem with this is, and the reason I wanted to talk about it for the next minute and a half, is because once it's too saturated into a genre or into a medium, it doesn't necessarily feel authentic anymore. So while dynamic characters and evolving and characters who have different mindsets and different ways of thinking about things are important and change the way we perceive the story, obviously a story full of static characters and very standard kind of cardboard cutout characters wouldn't go very far. A story full of characters that are willing to switch their alliance, or a lot of characters have underlying goals and agendas, that doesn't work well either. So this problem in games is pretty commonplace now, where we don't necessarily develop the character enough in the first role, where the transition to the second role is surprising. God of War is a very good example of this because it happens, without being spoilery, it happens a couple times towards the end of the game where characters reveal who they truly are and where they truly fit into the story. And at the very end, the very last part, there's a very cool transition and you realize what's been happening, what's going on, and why the story's taken place the way it has. But you have to get to the very end. That matters more than the other ones because the characters that it happens to are so much better developed and you understand why things are happening. So this is just kind of a pointing out something in the industry that we like to have good characters turn bad and bad characters turn good, but we don't necessarily take the time to develop them all the way. It comes with storytelling, it comes with learning our medium better, and hopefully it'll continue to grow in time. But that's the end of our video game quickie. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the timer here and come around and shut off the camera. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. As always, like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next week as we continue to do this. Bye!